Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Training Tuesdays, week one of the 2021 edition. Thank you, everyone, for joining. My name is Sarah Deitch, and I am a Customer Success Manager with SkyBitz. So on behalf of our entire team, we'd like to welcome you. Hopefully, we have some return customers and some new folks joining us today. Today's going to be a little different than last sessions. Last sessions were very informational, giving everybody the how-to in the InSight platform. So today we're going to tee up the rest of our training sessions and our informational sessions for the rest of this group of trainings, group of meetings. And I just wanted to do some housekeeping prior to diving in. Everyone should be muted right now, so we will mute you all. You don't have to do that for yourself. However, if you have muted yourself and you wanted to ask a question later, you have to unmute yourself then. So don't worry about the muting. We'll do that for you. We have factored in some time for Q&A. Again, like I said, I'm not going to review all of InSight today. I'm going to go over a few things within InSight, but we're going to discuss our future training sessions with you today. And all sessions are being recorded as they were in the past, and they will be available for playback on our SkyBitz YouTube channel. So I'm going to go there right now. This is the SkyBitz YouTube channel. So if you go onto YouTube, type in SkyBitz, you'll come right to this channel. I wanted to kind of review this today because I want to make sure everyone's aware. Not only do we have our training session recordings from the first group, which we did at the end of summer and into the fall, we have recorded all of those sessions and put them here on the SkyBitz YouTube channel. But we also, if you see, we have a lot of video content here. We've, some interviews on Freight Waves, What the Truck. We have had a couple of my colleagues get to do some interviewing on there. We also dive into product and into our user interface, just to kind of give you a feel for what's going on within SkyBitz. Everything pretty much gets posted here to the SkyBitz YouTube channel. It's a lot of content, and it covers all of our vertical markets, right? So we're talking about trailer and asset tracking for the most part with this group. We do have a tank monitoring group as well. So if you want to learn more about SkyBitz or even learn more about your own industry and any kind of information that we're providing, go right onto the SkyBitz YouTube channel and hit subscribe if you wouldn't mind. And then you'll be able to watch our content and be notified when videos do pop up from our team. So I'd like to thank everyone at SkyBitz for participating. We do cross all the team lines here. Our customer experience, sales teams, we all have some videos on here to share with our customers. So you can come here to find the videos that I had recorded earlier at the end of the summer, early fall of last year. So today we're going to review where we've been, where we're headed, and why we're going in this direction. So where we've been, I started to kind of talk about that already. In the last group of trainings, they were very informational. We did get into, I think there are a couple here, Training Tuesdays, identifying and securing your assets. We learned how to set up alarms. We learned how to set up reports. We learned how to put landmarks in, learned how to analyze assets. We started to look into the trend panels. So there are many different sessions, there were 12, that we went through the website from soup to nuts. So my very first session, which was at the end of August, we discussed the preferences section, right? So when we're in InSight, I can log right in here, and we're looking at very basic information here, right? So we started to learn how to set up users. We learned how to manage users, what users could see, what some users couldn't see. So we dove deep down into that. We dove into landmarks. This is a really important section of the website. So pretty much everything you see here has been covered. The only thing we didn't cover yet was detention, and we'll get into that later. Detention is super important, and we will be able to look at some of our customers' success with detention, utilizing the detention section of InSight. So we're going to dive into that. We also talked about trailer pools, how to set them up. We're going to dive deeper into the functionality, not just the functionality, but deep into the why am I using this? Why am I going to take the time to set these things up? So that is definitely something to look forward to. But if you need some basic training on how to set up users, how to set up landmarks, a lot of our customers, and I believe I did mention this in the earlier training, a lot of our customers were not fully utilizing InSight. I think the time it takes that you invest initially in the setup of these different sections, landmarks and groups, what you'll find is the time that it took is worth it in the end, because once you've added, say, landmarks, you can bulk upload them. Once you've added them to the system, you're then able to utilize them in different areas. And again, my training sessions, the earlier group, I definitely dove into landmarks and why you use them and where they will take you in the system. So there are different sections, such as yard check, that once you've put those in, you're then able to use the functionality more deeply. So we also went through how to look up and locate your assets. We discussed the dashboard, which I am on right here. So this is where you're able to see your the information about your account, right? And what types of product you have, how many installed devices you have, uninstalled devices. I reviewed how to get the data from this section. It's a really important section in that you're looking to this to find out how many of each device do I have, and how is my account looking in terms of reporting and installed versus uninstalled devices that usually should be your stock or newer ordered devices that are in your account. So there was a lot of information here on this dashboard. This is, one of the sessions that I went through, and it's on the SkyBitz YouTube channel. So any of the training Tuesdays, let me just go back here and make sure everybody understands that the training Tuesdays videos identify the trainings that we did in the earlier session at the end of the summer, early fall, and going forward, they're all going to be identified, I believe, in the same manner. So you're able to then figure out which ones you need to look at if you're talking about training. And then the other videos, please be my guest. There's a lot of information here on how to optimize your fleet, how to optimize performance, how to just run your business better. We have experts in the field. Our sales reps have been doing this for a long time. We have a tenured group of sales reps in our management department. This is the same. So when they're talking about optimizing fleet optimization, they know what they're talking about. They've been helping companies do this for a long time. So I'm going to tout the SkyBitz YouTube page a lot. It would be great. Even if at the end of the session, there was 90 subscribers to the YouTube channel, that would be fantastic. So, and I thank everyone who has subscribed. I know we did have a little bit of a push because of Training Tuesdays initially, so that's fantastic. So there are other areas in the website, and I'm going to pull up a PowerPoint, which I hate to do, but I'm going to do it real quick. We are working on our help section currently. So I just want to make sure that everybody's aware that we're aware that the help, this little help guy who's usually in the right corner when you log into InSight, that help section, which is connected to this show me how section, they all function together. So the help section is generally another location where you can find the videos that we had recorded. Plus there's some more content in there on utilization of the system. So the help section in InSight is being worked on. We've been doing maintenance on our databases, making sure that everything's running smoothly and at prime optimization. I'm sure you've noticed when you log into InSight, there would be a pop-up telling you about a maintenance notification. So please pay those mind, because they are giving you information on when our maintenance is gonna happen. And just to let you know that this is being worked on. So there's some information in there about maintenance and other aspects of the system. So it'll also tell you what's new in there, and it'll give you some more informational videos in the help section. Plus, you can also get information on how to contact customer care. Again, our customer care team, fantastic group headed by Elaine Samard. So we have a great group of men and women that are on the phones, answering emails, and doing all that for our customers. So I'd like to thank the entire team for all the work they do. And then when this help is not there, they probably get some more calls because you can't refer to anything in the help section. However, I'm going to come back for Show Me How in a minute, but you may refer to the resource center. So not all is lost. It will be back, the help section, excuse me. We do have a resource center. So when you're looking for information about your device, looking for some training videos, we also have pretty much vetted all of these videos to make sure that the content is applicable. Still working on it, making sure that everything that you guys are able to view on InSight makes sense and is valuable to you. The biggest piece here, though, of course, is the hardware information. So we're going to dive into hardware in another session, but I wanted to make sure that you all are aware that I know a lot of our customers do utilize this resource center, that the resource center is still functional while the help section is being, it's kind of being spruced up a little bit. So you can find what your device type is here and then find installation information. You can find troubleshooting information, all right here for a plate nose or a sheet and post or a container. So you can find that information here. You can get documents, you can get PDFs on all that. So never fear, Resource Center is still available to our customers while help is being worked on. Let's go back to the dashboard. Excuse me. So during those sessions, again, talking about the earlier sessions, we wanted to reach out to our customers in a way that we kind of haven't really on a scheduled basis before. We wanted you to know, hey, we're thinking about you. We wanted to make sure that you understood that we were going to reach out and say, we're here. Here's the information you're going to need in a kind of an interactive way. I know we do most of the talking for the session, but then at the end, we do open up for questions and comments. We're generally doing a survey at the end. So when you're leaving the session, the training session, or the informational session, you're able to then give comments on what you would like to see. So really our customers then coming back to us saying, that's great, thank you for teaching me how to use the system. Some of our customers have been using InSight for many years and they haven't fully realized the potential and the power of the tool that they have in InSight. So we're happy that we're able to bring information, instructional training to our customers. So then we heard back, and what did you say? Well, why am I doing this? Why should I do this? So again, I talked about that briefly in most of the sessions. We're going to dig into that more. But what we were also asked is, and this is a common question and a common stream of conversation that I have with my customers, is what are your best practices across the board? Not getting specific and telling you customer A does this, more like there are other customer success managers, and together what we do is we came together and we came up with some best practices, and we're going to, meaning best practices for utilizing the system. Best practices on any kind of replacement campaigns that we're running, or any kind of information that we find valuable to our customers on a regular basis, having discussions with you all about them. We're going to bring those to you. We're going to bring you a panel of internal people. So it's not just going to be me like it was in the first session, and Debbie Sackman, who is in product or product line manager. It's going to be myself, of course, and Debbie will also be joining the calls, but my team, who includes Benjamin O, Harry Singleton, Jim Lewis, and our manager, Ira Stern. So we're all going to become involved in this and give you those best practices, because we all manage different customers in different verticals in the asset tracking industry. We have interesting discussions with customers that are tracking more than dry vans. There are plenty of those customers out there, so that we deal with on a daily basis. So what we're going to do is bring our experience to the table, and we're going to have discussions about best practices and how they can benefit you and your operations. We're going to dive into a session around the 3G sunset. So that is something that we're discussing internally, making sure that the data that we're going to give to you is the best fit, and making sure that what we're giving you will help you to be successful if you do in fact have some devices in your company's account that are sunsetting due to the cellular sunset of the cellular company sunset of the 3G network. So AT&T, Verizon being the big boys, right? They're sunsetting the network. And we're going to make sure that you have the most up-to-date information, the best ways to make sure that your fleet is getting tended to in a timely manner, and giving you the best practices there as well. So making sure that you have the tools that you need to run a successful 3G replacement campaign. It's super important that we get that to you. So we're going to do that, and we're already, we already have that in the works, but we would like to present it to as many customers as possible. So if you have team members that are involved in replacement campaigns in general, when they're replacing some non-reporting devices, I think it's important for those folks to attend. And like I said, we're going to try to hit as many customers as possible to make sure that you all are successful and get this done when it needs to be. So each presenter from my team or the rest of the customer experience team overall, so there's customer success, there's delivery services, and there's the customer care team within customer experience. We have our billing department as well. So these folks aren't always in the forefront. So we're going to bring some people to some of these meetings and have them share their best practices, common themes that they discuss with customers, so that you all can hear that and share that internally. Is this something that you're not doing within your business that maybe would help you optimize what you're doing? Change it a little bit, make some tweaks to be more successful, to manage your assets in a more successful manner. Then that's really what we're trying to bring you in this section of informational. And I don't want to keep using the word training, because not every week is going to bring some training. Sometimes we'll bring training, and sometimes it'll be a little bit of training and a little bit of best practices. So you have to keep up with us every week. Take an hour out on a Tuesday. And if you do miss it, again, we're going to go to the SkyBitz YouTube channel, subscribe, and then you can watch all of the videos, the training videos, the informational videos. You get to watch all of it right here, which is fantastic. So when we're in the InSight platform, though, we're gonna really try to dig in a little more with some things that we might have missed last time. Like I said, detention. We're going to talk about that. We're going to dive deeper into our newer sections, like the asset view section, which I'm not sure that everybody is using that yet. It's a fantastic section, and we're going to dive into it. What kind of filtering can you do? What kind of information can you get from here? So it's not just looking up an asset, it's looking at your entire fleet based on some filters that you can apply. You can look at everything. And what information is this giving me? Why am I going here to look in this section? And then is there a decision, or are there decisions that I can make based on data that I'm getting from the asset view? So there's a lot here. There's a lot of content, and there's a lot of best practices that we're going to go through. And we're going to try to make them as interactive as possible, meaning those last 15 minutes are really important. We unfortunately can't always answer specific to your account questions, but what we can do is, if you have questions, you can ask them, we'll answer. We have a chat you can type in as we're going through. We have plenty of panelists on at any given time. Whereas last time it was, I think, about 3 of us on. We have a whole bunch of folks on that are able to answer questions as we're going through. They're able to, answer in the chat, answer in the question section. And then at the very end, we try to save 15 or more, depending on the content, minutes to then say, hey, raise your hand, give us feedback, ask us questions. We would certainly be happy. And then with all these people present, I'm sure we can figure out a way to get you an answer. And if we can't, then we'll say we can't and we'll get back to you. That's kind of what we did last time. I had a bunch of customers reach out via the question section and then the chat that I reached out to after the training sessions were over and helped with getting some issues straightened out or just to kind of clarify things a little bit more. So attending these sessions, you get some valuable contact with the SkyBitz team. And so that's another reason to continue to join. And we're also offering a reefer solution. Our vendor partner Cortex and SkyBitz are working together where we did have a solution in that market before. We are working with Cortex and they're a fantastic company to work with. And we will have a presentation from their team during this session. And so that's where we're going. And I think I've pretty much covered the why we're going in that direction as well to make sure that everyone feels, first of all, more secure in the platform. We're going to do some content training, but also secure and a reason to invest your time in the tool because we'll show you, hey, if you do this, then you'll get this as a result. So we have some valuable customer anonymized data, of course, some valuable customer data to share with you in our panel discussions. So we're super excited, the customer success team, and really the entire SkyBitz team. We're very excited to bring you this content and to kind of broaden and deepen the journey that we started back in August, September, October, and then we're able to have more meaningful conversations. And hopefully, like I said before, you're then able to take this information to your teams and say, hey, maybe we need to change this a little bit. So I want to make sure that I hit home on that. And I had mentioned the help section being tweaked a little bit. So there's another section that I love that works in conjunction with the help section, and that's Show Me How. So Show Me How is being worked on as well. And I just want to, once it comes back, I'm not exactly sure of the date, the time frame, should be soon. But once Show Me How reappears, I recommend everyone on this call click it. So when you see it, it's not on every screen. Show Me How is in places that we want to show you how to use the functionality, right? So you don't have to watch a whole video. So maybe you can't make the training Tuesdays or the content wasn't instructional enough and you needed to learn how to use the dashboard or the asset view. So if you click Show Me How, what it does is it really walks you through the steps of the feature. So it'll tell you what the feature is, what to do next. So when you're in the asset view, it'll tell you to apply filters, and then it'll tell you what button to hit. So it's truly a step-by-step walkthrough. It is a fantastic feature that we've integrated into InSight along with help. And it will be returning shortly. And I miss it because I love to refer customers to it, to use it. I talk about it every training session. So wanted to make sure I hit it again because it will return and then you'll be able to utilize it. Can't make a call to care, can't call your success manager or your salesperson. So you can just utilize the tool that's built into InSight tool. Wanted to make sure that everybody is aware of Show Me How, and generally it's not always in the same spot, but it'll appear and then just click on it and it'll give you step-by-steps. So I wanted to make sure I hit on that. And what we wanted to go over next week, I just want to make sure that everyone's aware of where we're going next week. So one of the newest features, so everybody should be able to see my screen right now. I started to talk about it. I don't want to take the wind out of anybody's sails because I didn't dig into it in the last session. I just kind of casually would mention it each week and kind of use the the Show Me How tool right here, because it generally would appear on this screen. Next Tuesday, we're going to dig into a broad overview of one of the newest features of InSight. So it's been around for a bit, but again, I don't think a lot of people are utilizing it consistently. So what we'll do is go in here into the asset view, show you how it works, and then kind of discuss why are we using this? Why did we provide this to our customers? And it's going to give you some valuable information that you can then use to optimize your fleet, run your business more efficiently. Because again, these sessions, we're hoping we can kind of represent your return on investment. This is why you went with SkyBitz, and we thank you. So we're thanking you with Training Tuesdays, informational sessions, teaching you how to use the tool effectively, efficiently. That's kind of our way of saying, hey, we're here, we're listening, and here's what here's the result of the listening. And that will continue to broaden and grow as we, go through this session and listen to your suggestions. Again, we don't know what you want to hear if you don't tell us. We don't know what your questions are if you don't ask them. So rather than not saying it, it's better to err on the side of caution, I guess you could say, and ask the questions. Give us recommendations, because we're busy going about our days as well, and we want to make sure that we hear you, because we can't if you're not opening your mouth to tell us, hey, this is what we want to hear, SkyBitz. Or, hey, SkyBitz, we didn't really like that too much, so maybe we could shift gears. But this is just the beginning of 2021, and the session is about 12 weeks long. We'll have different information, as I said, throughout the session, and then we'll open up to questions. I wanted to kick it over to any of my colleagues if they had anything they wanted to add, because I have a whole bunch of folks over here with me today. I have a whole bunch of folks over here today that aren't going to say a word. So I'm glad that everybody's joined me today. I'm not sure if there are any questions in the chat or if any of our attendees had any questions at this time. So we'll just kind of open it up for some discussion. If you would like to, if we could unmute it. Oh, there's Ira. Hi, Ira.
Hey, Sarah. So we haven't had any questions come in online. However,
okay.
If you have any questions, feel free to raise the virtual hand and I can unmute you for your question.
Thank you. Or if you had a comment or anything kind of content driven comment that you have. As I mentioned, next week we're going to do a review of Asset View, kind of a deep dive actually into the Asset View, what it is, how it works, and what you can get from it. But any comments or any questions even about the last sessions? If I covered it, did you need to know where to find it on the YouTube channel? This here YouTube channel, that would be great if everybody could subscribe to. That would be fantastic. It's shameless promotion because
Yeah, and Sarah, if you go to the playlist option on the top there,
yes.
You can actually pull up. It'll actually give you the Training Tuesdays all in one spot. So you don't
fantastic. It will do that when it's good and ready. But the playlists do include Training Tuesdays as a group, so then you can kind of go through those at your leisure or as you need to watch one. Anybody? No questions? No,
we don't.
Chat?
No, we don't have any questions here. So
okay. All right, perfect. Did you want to add anything or?
No, I think we had great success last go around. Oh, we have a question from Josh. So hold on one second. Oh, I think Josh muted himself, so I cannot unmute Josh. So Josh, if you take yourself off mute, Josh Horner. Oh,
hey, how you doing?
Hi, Josh.
So I'm new to the SkyBitz network here. Really like it and what the capabilities are. I don't currently have the capability to use landmarks. At least I don't believe I do. But can you kind of go over these department?
Yes. So,
But I mean, we have 100.
and Josh, you're cutting out a little bit. I'm not sure if you are to everybody, but what I heard was landmarks. I heard that you were interested in landmarks, but you're not sure if you personally have the permissions to add landmarks to your account. Is that correct?
Yeah, Josh went on mute again, Sarah. I think,
Okay.
Josh, we'll reach out to you via email after this call, and
Yes.
we'll get some information to you. Yeah, unfortunately, you were breaking up pretty bad.
Yes, and I did, like I said, I heard landmarks and I kind of heard permissions, but Josh, we'll reach out, like Ira said, we'll make sure you get your question answered and anything else you may need. So we do have your email address, so we'll reach out. And anything else? Oh.
I'm not seeing. Okay, Josh typed his question is, can you please go over the landmark reporting? Now, I believe we do have a session around landmark reporting, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
We do.
Okay.
Yep.
So, Josh, that's actually going to be a session coming up as we go through kind of the sessions here. But again, we'll have somebody reach out to you, specifically, based via email to get you started prior to that, so you don't have to wait for that.
Okay, perfect.
So that's the only other, that was it. So turn it back to you.
Perfect. So we would like to thank you for attending the session today. These sessions are about you, our partners, and helping you leverage the powerful tools that we have provided. If you have recommendations, as I've said, please let us know for future sessions. We'll be happy to put them together. And just to preview again for next week, we will be going into the asset view and digging in how to use it, and then why you'll be using it, what you'll get from that. So thank you everyone for attending. Thank you to my colleagues for attending as well, and have a great rest of your week. Talk to you next week.